The animal kingdom. A remarkable collection of living, breathing natural wonders. Enthralling. Impressive. Tenacious. And nurturing. Innovative. Tough. Surprising. Always genuine. Discover their past, present, and future. Just breathtaking. Just intriguing. Just tremendous. Just animals. Hooved mammals, or ungulates. Creatures that are born to run. There's a good reason for this. Running fast means survival. This group embodies free spirits, gravity-defying agility, intelligence, tenderness, and supreme ingenuity. All ungulates are distinguished by having hooves. And some by their amazing headgear. Incredibly diverse, they range in size from a couple of kilograms to a couple of tons. Numbering in their billions, these hardy creatures, both wild and domestic, inhabit virtually all corners of the globe. And their success has placed them in our highest regard. We humans value this group of animals perhaps more than any other, for our livelihood, our sustenance, and our culture. Hoofed mammals are mostly large herbivores, plant eaters. Ungulates can grow to such a huge size because of the support from their backbones. These vertebrates also share the defining characteristics of other mammals, such as mothers that produce milk, and bodies covered in hair or fur. Their extended toenails, or hooves, are covered by layers of tough, fibrous keratin, which is the same material hair, feathers, and claws are made from. It's the number of hooves or toes that divides ungulates into their two major groups, or orders. The even-toed ungulates, or Artiodactyla, are a big group, including giraffe, camels, deer, goats, pigs, and buffalo. Their odd-toed cousins, the Perissodactyla, include horses, zebras, rhinos, and tapirs. These animals have one hoof on each foot, which completely covers the toe. Tapirs are a little different, having 4 toes at the front and 3 at the rear. Moving on to even-toed ungulates, most walk on 2 main hooves that bear weight evenly. Animals with feet like these are often called cloven-hoofed. Some cloven-hoofed ungulates, such as mountain goats, have 2 smaller hooves, called dew claws, further up their legs to give them better traction. There are some exceptions. With camels, what looks like a hoof is actually a soft toe with a nail. Apart from their toes, another striking feature of many even-toed ungulates are their cranial appendages. Bovids, like the muskox and the African buffalo, have an impressive array of horns. Horns are living bones covered in a sheath of keratin that keep growing and never fall off. African buffalo have truly formidable horns that have earned them the nicknames Black Death and the Widowmaker. The rhinoceros is the only horned mammal with a horn that is made of pure keratin. Often confused with horns are antlers, which are comprised of bone, yet are shed each year. Antlers are also usually branched. Deer antlers come in all shapes and sizes. Large antlers are more than weapons. The male with the most impressive set will attract more females. One hooved animal, the pronghorn, has headgear that makes them truly unique. A cross between a horn and an antler. It has a permanent bony core with a branched keratin sheath that is shed each year. As for the knobs on a giraffe's head, they are ossicones, made from cartilage that has ossified or hardened. The ossicones are also covered in skin and fur. From vast deserts to high alpine regions, plus open savannas, through to cold, remote, inhospitable tundra, hooved mammals are masters of many domains. The ungulate world is populated by more than 250 species, which fall broadly into the even-toed and odd-toed groups. The odd-toed hoofed mammals may be the smallest group, with about 17 species. But they have the biggest of all ungulates in their ranks, the white rhinoceros. After the elephant, white rhinos are the second largest land mammal, weighing up to 4 tons. With their massive horns and armor-like thick skin, they couldn't be more different than their relatives in the Equidae family, which includes zebras, asses, and horses. The endangered Przewalski's horse lives in the steppes of Mongolia. Compared to domestic horses, they have a stockier build and shorter legs. They're widely considered to be the only true wild horses, having never been domesticated. As for the wild horses of North America, the mustangs, and the brumbies of Australia, they're actually feral. These free-roaming herds being the descendants of domestic animals. The third member of the odd-toed group are these unusual creatures, tapirs. There are 4 widely recognized species of tapir that are found mostly in the forests and grasslands of South and Central America, plus Southeast Asia. All species live near water. Submerging helps them cool off. The Malayan tapir that favors swamps can grow to over 350 kilograms. Their long, prehensile noses are designed for wrapping around and grabbing leaves. The other branch of ungulates, the even-toed, are the most successful large herbivores on Earth, and the most numerous, with around 240 species spread across 10 families. Among them are 2 contenders for the biggest. The hippopotamus takes out the heaviest category, males weighing up to 1,800 kilograms. The title for the tallest goes to the giraffe, which can grow up to 6 meters in height. Giraffes belong to the Giraffidae family, which includes only one other member. The okapi, also known as the forest giraffe. Although its stripes make it look more like a relative of the zebra, its head bears a close resemblance to a giraffe's. Even-toed ungulates have adapted to live in dramatically different habitats. Members of the Caprinae family, such as sheep and mountain goats, are particularly nimble. Some are especially ingenious with their agility, like these goats found in the hot, arid lands of North Africa. In this landscape, there is very little to graze on, making the fruit of the argan tree highly prized. When the remaining fruit is out of reach, these innovative goats have a simple solution: to climb. Sheep and goats have been domesticated for about 10,000 years. there are thought to be at least 200 goat breeds. As for sheep varieties, there are 5 times that number. Whether they are domestic or wild, goats and sheep are part of the Bovidae family. The largest family in this clan are the bovids, which include cattle, yaks, bison, buffalo, and antelope. Mostly native to Africa, antelope are represented by 91 species, such as wildebeest, eland, and gemsbok. While deer-like, antelope do not have antlers. They have permanent horns, like the rest of their bovid cousins. In the hot lowland climates of Asia, India, and Australia, water buffalo use swamps and rivers to help them regulate their body temperatures. At the roof of the world, the Himalayas, yaks are one of the highest living mammals, able to survive at 6,000 meters. Shaggy hair and dense woolly undercoats protect them from freezing temperatures, which can drop as low as -40 degrees Celsius. Another high-altitude specialist belongs to the Camelidae family, the guanaco. They are the wild ancestors of llamas and are well adapted to living high up in the Andes. To cope with the low oxygen, they have blood rich in red blood cells, 4 times the amount seen in human blood. Other South American camelids are alpacas, and their wild relatives, vicunas. The better-known side of this family, the camels, are native to Africa and Asia. Next on the even-toed ungulate list is the Suidae family. Hundreds of domestic breeds exist. They are thought to be the descendants of the Eurasian wild boar. While the majority of wild swine favor forested habitats, warthogs prefer grasslands. The Cervidae, or deer family, are native to a variety of habitats in all continents, except Australia and Antarctica. The moose is the largest type of deer. Mature males, or bulls, standing over 2 meters tall and weighing up to 700 kilograms. Found in North America, Europe, and Asia, it is easily recognized by its large, palmated antlers. Elk also have impressive antlers, but they are more twig-shaped. Native to North America and Northeast Asia, elk have long, muscly legs for escaping predators. Surprisingly, the deer family boasts the smallest even-toed ungulate of all. The lesser mouse deer from Southeast Asia is the size of a small dog, weighing about the same as a chihuahua, at just over 2 kilograms. Of the even-toed ungulates, this final, unusual creature stands out from the crowd. The pronghorn. In North America, where they are found, locals often refer to them as antelope. But pronghorns are actually unique. The last of their kind, they are named in honor of their pronged headgear. Wherever they roam, hooved mammals are an impressive, diverse family of animals. Like the rest of the animal kingdom, ungulates have a vast array of remarkable features, adaptations, and skills to help ensure their survival. One is their exceptional sprinting ability. A zebra's top speed is around 60 kilometers an hour. Kicking is another important skill, sometimes used to establish hierarchies within a herd, but often a swift, hard hoof can fend off predators. An ungulate's fur coat can also offer protection. The striking pattern on a zebra is a form of camouflage, the kind that dazzles rather than hides. Zebras take advantage of what's known as disruptive coloration by using their stripes to break up their body outline. When in a herd, the mass of stripes moving together are thought to throw off a predator's ability to target individuals. Another African savanna resident has different markings for true camouflage. The giraffe's coat has patches of different sizes and colours to blend in with the light and shade of the woodlands. The combination of long limbs, neck, and tongue come in handy for grasping leaves high up in tall, spiky trees. When it comes to drinking, a giraffe's lanky legs can prove to be a big problem. Their solution? To do the splits. Giraffes also get moisture from leaves and can go long periods without drinking, perhaps even longer than camels. Dromedary, or one-humped camels, can go a week without water, but when thirsty, can drink over 100 litres in one sitting. Despite popular belief, it is not water that is stored in a camel's hump, but fat. A hump is basically an onboard energy store. If needed, the camel can go several months without food, making them the ultimate desert travellers. Camels have a wide range of adaptations to help them cope with desert terrain, such as wide feet, which prevent them from sinking when walking on sand. To keep sand out, these ships of the desert have hairy ears, nostrils that can close, and 3 specialized eyelids, 2 armed with eyelashes, plus a 3rd with a special membrane that acts like a windshield wiper to clean their eyes. Hoofed mammals that live in watery environments have their own special adaptations for survival. A moose's strong, long legs and paddle-like hooves help it swim, enabling it to cross wide rivers. Male moose have particularly good hearing. Scientists believe their giant antlers have sound-gathering qualities. They work like hearing aids and can boost the bull's hearing by almost 20%, helping them find females calling to them. Moose aren't the only ungulates that are good in the water. Tapirs are also excellent swimmers. Their long noses can be used like a natural snorkel. Salt water is no barrier to some swimming ungulates. A colony of seafaring swine are living the good life on an uninhabited island in the Bahamas. No one is sure how these feral animals established themselves there. But swimming to Pig Beach from a shipwreck is one possibility. With pigs, their best line of defense is usually speed. Warthogs do have the extra advantage of tusks, but against certain predators, swift trotters can be the best option. A pig's nose is one of its most important features. Their snouts are tipped with a floating disc of rubbery cartilage, making them more robust, essential for all the rooting around pigs do while searching for food. These animals have an acute sense of smell, able to detect odours more than 7 meters underground. This makes up for their poor eyesight. Most swine enjoy a good mud bath. As they can't sweat, this helps them to keep cool. Mud also acts as a natural sunscreen and provides relief from insect bites. Skills and adaptations like these have allowed generations of hooved mammals to flourish. The evolution of ungulates is fairly well known, due to the fact their ancestors had large bones. This means there have been numerous fossil finds which date their emergence to around 54 million years ago. Originally, odd-toed hooved mammals dominated, with 13 families roaming the earth. Among them were some of the largest land mammals to have ever existed. Giant, hornless, rhino-like beasts that stood over 5 meters tall at the shoulder and estimated to have weighed up to 20 tons. That's more than a double-decker bus. Sometime between 23 and 33 million years ago, there was a major shift. Even-toed ungulates began to surpass their odd-toed cousins and radiated across the planet in high numbers and great diversity. The once successful odd-toed group steadily declined. Today's 3 families are all that remain. The family trees of ungulates have caused much debate amongst classification experts over the years. At one time, it was deemed their closest relatives were sea cows, hyraxes, and elephants because of their large flat nails. Advances in molecular research now find ungulates have closer ties to bats, pangolins, and insects. Even-toed ungulates also count cetaceans like whales and dolphins as relatives, because they're thought to have evolved from hooved ancestors. Out of all ungulates, tapirs hold a special place. They are the most primitive of large mammals in the world today. A creature that has changed very little over the past 20 million years. Hooved mammals and their array of fascinating behaviors are a sight to behold. When congregating en masse, they are truly spectacular. Many ungulates, especially the grazers, live in herds. Huge herds. Some, like caribou in the Arctic, can number in the hundreds of thousands. Plenty of eyes, ears, and noses to detect danger. Herding behavior makes it difficult for predators to target an individual. Because of this, getting separated from the crowd can be fatal. youngsters especially need to stay within the safety of the herd. They're the most vulnerable. Ungulates that live in large groups need to be on the move to find more food and water. For the zebra of the Serengeti in East Africa, this means an annual trek of almost 3,000 kilometers. Their even-toed relatives, wildebeest, are often their travel companions on this long journey. The sheer size of this world-famous migration draws in predators, such as lions, hyenas, and wild dogs. The zebra herds must also cross deep rivers, dangerous rivers. Here lurks one of the most lethal predators of all, the Nile crocodile. Sometimes, luck favors the bold. Herds often have other animals mixed in with their group, and this comes with its advantages. Giraffe and ostriches have long necks that allow them to see predators far off in the distance. For their part, zebras have acute hearing and a good sense of smell that ostriches don't, and can warn of approaching danger. This is known as a symbiotic relationship. Mutually beneficial arrangements like this abound in the ungulate world. Giraffes favor their partnerships with oxpeckers that get rid of their ticks. In return, the birds receive a generous feast. A change in season can also bring on a change in behavior. In the summer, bison bulls start to throw their weight around to put on a show of dominance. This is rutting behavior. Fueled by testosterone, these aggressive displays are all about winning females. Rutting is displayed by many hooved mammals. The sound of big-horned sheep smashing their horns together can be heard echoing across the Rocky Mountains in North America when males, or rams, wage epic battles for mating rights. The giraffe's version of rutting is called necking. They don't use their ossicones for headbutting. Instead, the bulls use their necks like clubs in competitive sparring matches. The breeding season brings out an additional behavior in giraffes and other ungulates, known as the flamen response. The name for this unusual display originates from the German word flamen, meaning to bare the upper teeth. This action sends pheromones, or excreted chemicals, to an organ in the mouth that decodes these chemical messages. The animal can then determine various things about fellow group members, including when females are in heat. Camels exhibit the flamen response, but there's another sign to look for when their rutting season is underway. Male camels have a habit of gurgling and using their spit to produce foam all around their mouths. An eye-catching signal that's difficult to miss. The world's population of hooved mammals may be strikingly different, but they share many common behaviors, habits that help them wherever they roam. Like most mammals, ungulates give birth to live young. What's special about these babies is many can be up and walking within minutes, and running to keep up with the herd within hours. For some, however, it can take a little longer. Female zebras, or mares, reach sexual maturity when they're around 4 years old. They carry their babies for up to a year. Foals are nursed for around 16 months. Then, as mature zebra, they have about 25 years to explore their grassy homes. Warthog piglets learn to forage by copying their mother's grazing style. Female pigs or sows can give birth twice a year. With up to 12 piglets in a litter, each weighing around 1 kilogram. Within a week, the youngsters will double their weight thanks to their mother's high-fat milk, which has more than twice the fat of cow's milk. Generally speaking, pigs live for 6 to 10 years, giving them plenty of time for play. Baby bison also enjoy a good frolic. These large youngsters play fight to build strength and skills they'll need later on in life. A female bison can have 1 calf each year. They live in maternal herds with other cows and their young, only mingling with males during the breeding season. In the wild, bison have a life expectancy of about 15 years. Some ungulates, like sheep, will eat the amniotic sac to hide evidence of their newborn from predators. This is a concern for mother deer as well. Their solution? To remove their youngsters' scent through fastidious grooming. As a safety precaution, a foraging doe will often leave her fawn alone on purpose to ensure she doesn't lead predators back to her young. The fawn's spots camouflage them on the forest floor. The youngsters manage to find their own hiding spots, knowing to change locations frequently. When the youngsters are old enough to keep up, they will join their mothers. From the forests of North America to the plains of Africa, where these graceful creatures roam. Giraffes can breed at any time of the year, but their calves are usually born in the dry season. When these babies come into the world, they are already giants, standing about 2 meters tall. Diet-wise, baby giraffes will start to sample greenery a few weeks after being born, but continue to be dependent on their mother's milk for up to a year. Sometimes, however, they need a little gentle persuading. A strong, healthy start will see these impressive mammals live for 20 to 25 years. Of the odd-toed ungulates, the tapirs enjoy the best longevity, around 30 years. No matter where they call home, all species of tapir calves look a little like watermelons on legs. Many tapirs, like the lowland tapir of South America, are largely nocturnal and will forage at dawn and dusk and throughout the night. Which means no matter how old, afternoons are for napping. Food, and where to find it, is central to all animals' lives. Most hooved mammals are herbivores, but some are omnivores, which means in addition to eating plant material, they also consume meat. Depending on their diet, ungulates have evolved different ways of digesting their food. Odd-toed ungulates are mainly grazing animals. They have simple stomachs, food being digested in their intestines. The even-toes can't digest plant material easily and must ferment their food first. They're known as ruminants. These animals chew cud, partially digested food, which they regurgitate to chew and mix with saliva for a second time. This helps ruminant animals extract the most nutrients out of their food, something vital for bighorn sheep that live in desert conditions and have to digest tough, spiky plants. Giraffes are ruminants, but they have other adaptations to help them with their favourite food, thorny acacias. To ward off marauding plant eaters, acacia trees are armed with thorns up to 10 centimetres long. But the giraffes are one step ahead. They have a thick protective layer on their tongues and tough, flexible lips to help them deal with these thorny adversaries. Pigs are one of the few ungulates that are omnivores. To help them digest their broad diet of vegetation, fruit, reptiles and small mammals, they have a digestive system different to that of a pure herbivore or carnivore. It's a fairly simple, single-chambered stomach. Their cousins, warthogs, are the only swine that have adapted to savanna habitats and grazing. During the wet season, warthogs eat grass, often moving around on their wrists. They're born with calloused pads to protect these joints. In the dry season, warthogs change their diet, using their strong snouts to dig up roots and bulbs. A pig's habit of rooting around helps their local environment. By disturbing the soil, they create areas for new plants to grow, boosting biodiversity. Tapirs play an important role in their tropical habitats. Known as the gardeners of the forest, they have an enormous appetite for large fruit. Via their dung, they disperse fruit seeds throughout their range, helping their leafy home to regenerate and maintain diversity. Hooved mammals, like any other creature, have an important part to play in the food chain. Ungulates sitting somewhere in the middle. They get their energy from eating plants. In turn, they feed carnivores higher up the chain. Predators like wolves. Caribou live in harsh, unforgiving terrain, where legs and hooves can easily be injured. That's when opportunistic wolves move in. They're always on the hunt for the most vulnerable. It can seem harsh, but predators are vital to maintain a healthy food web. They regulate ungulate numbers, which stops overbrowsing. Left unchecked, this could decimate plant populations and harm biodiversity. Every well-functioning ecosystem needs to be in balance. hooved mammals have their part to play in the circle of life. Ungulates have been central to many cultures for thousands of years. Camels, for example, played a crucial role in ancient agricultural production and in the transport of goods. Most famed was China's Silk Road, a lucrative trading route between east and west, where camel caravans facilitated the trade of wool or jade for silk. The camel's importance as transporters is depicted in rock art from the first millennium, as was their role in warfare. In some religions, cattle are revered, considered a sacred symbol of life, and are protected. An annual Hindu festival is dedicated to honoring Lord Krishna and cattle. In Christian culture, nativity scenes displayed during Christmas show a menagerie of ungulates, including sheep, asses, camels, and oxen. Another festive season legend features magical flying reindeer. One ungulate-like character that is not looked upon so favorably is the devil, or Satan. Often depicted with horns and cloven hooves, it's thought these images may have arisen from the pagan god Pan, who was half goat and half man. In Chinese culture, the pig is associated with wealth. Around the globe, the horse symbolizes freedom. Over the ages, these noble steeds have lent their speed and strength to humans. Horses playing vital roles in warfare, agriculture, and exploration. Their grace, beauty, and resilience have been a constant source of inspiration. Horses being featured in countless works of art and literature, plus films. To many civilizations, the horse stands out, a champion amongst ungulates. The important role all hooved mammals have played throughout history is beyond doubt, earning them a place in our hearts and imaginations. Many hooved species are successful to the point they number in their billions. But unfortunately, some only number in their thousands or less. And their conservation is crucial. Ungulates face the same threats as other animals across the planet, including habitat loss and fragmentation, disease, and poaching. Tapirs are one group that are struggling, with 3 of the 4 species listed as endangered, the other as vulnerable. There is some good news for hooved mammals. Africa is a draw card for tourists, who are not only attracted to the big cats, but also iconic creatures such as zebras and giraffe. Although both of these ungulates are in decline, various conservation programs are underway, helping to combat poaching, creating wildlife corridors, and reducing competition from grazing livestock. Zoos and sanctuaries also play an important role in conservation. Some have breeding programs where endangered species are returned to the wild. One such success story is the Przewalski's horse that has been brought back from the brink. Once extinct in the wild, populations have been built up and reintroduced to their native habitat, the steppes of Mongolia. Today, There are around 2,000 of these graceful animals roaming free. In Mongolia, Przewalski's horses are called taki, which means spirit. With dedication and effort, may the spirit of these wild horses and of all ungulates live on well into the future.